Look, he's crying on my shoulders.
There are few things better than watching somebody triumph.
It's amazing.
God damn.
It was crazy because I was in Brazil in 2003 for the Abu Dhabi World Championships. And
For kickboxing?
no, Abu Dhabi World Championships for Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Eddie Bravo was over there competing. That was the year that he tapped out Royler Gracie. It was the craziest upset ever.
Wow.
It was insane.
Is that
insane in Brazil.
Is that what blew him up?
100%, man. He wasn't even a black belt yet. Eddie was a brown belt.
And he tapped out Hoist Gracie?
Royler.
Oh, Royler Gracie.
Royler, who was Hoist's brother, who was more successful even than Hoist in jiu-jitsu tournaments. He's like one of the greatest Gracies of all time in terms of his accomplishments in winning world jiu-jitsu tournaments. He was the man.
What did he tap him with?
A triangle off his back. It was amazing. It was amazing. When he locked it in, he went for an omoplata. Royler defended the omoplata and exposed his side. And Eddie had, like we were talking about legs that can move like hands, that's Eddie's legs. He has crazy leg dexterity. He can do a lotus position. Like, he could just, like, put himself in a lotus position. Like, whoosh, whoosh. BJ Penn can do that, too.
Really?
They didn't have to use their hands. Like, Eddie Bravo can put his legs behind his head. He has crazy flexibility and leg dexterity. It's very surprising. So if you're in his guard, you're fucked. And Royler didn't know it. And he was in Eddie's guard, and Eddie just slapped that triangle on him and then started pulling the head, and then Royler tapped, and it was insane. I was crying.
Oh,
Dude.
man. Yeah, I can't imagine.
I'll cry right now.
Did he even know? Like, did he think he was going to win?
Oh, he had already beat Gustavo Dantas, who was also a world champion. He tapped him before that. That was his first match. He got his back and tapped him. And then he had this big match with Royler, and they shut off all the other matches and put, like, all the cameras on this one thing.
So there's footage.
Yes.
Oh, I want to see it.
Yes, you want to see it?
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest experiences of my life. I get emotional right now.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine. See, that's real love for your homie. For you to get that emotional because he won.
It changed his life.
Yeah, man.
Because he was always like this, like, super talented guy, and like, you know, he and I would talk about it. He would talk about all these jiu-jitsu wizards and all these people that were like super talented. I go, dude, you're a fucking wizard. I'm like, you're really fucking good, like really good. And he didn't want to kind of believe it for some strange reason. He was very humble about his jiu-jitsu. He knew he was pretty good. And then he started winning tournaments, and he won the Abu Dhabis and then the West Coast trials, and so he made it to Brazil. And so this is him against Royler Gracie, who is the fucking man, and Royler's on top of him, right? Now Royler has gotten to side control, but Eddie does this thing called the jailbreak. Look how he retains guard. It's the brilliant use of his legs, because again, he has this insane leg dexterity. So here, Royler is defending, and then he catches him. See that? Because Eddie had his wrist and it looked like he was trying to set up an omoplata, and then he locks him up in a fucking triangle. And look at him squeezing. Royler's fucked. And he's trying to get out here. But this is just death. And then Eddie finally grabs the head. And when he grabs the head with the squeeze, Royler's tapping. And that's it. And so Eddie walks up, and this is what he said. He said he couldn't believe it, but he walked around with his arms up in the air like he knew it was going to happen. But while he was walking around, like he did a play-by-play of it on my podcast. And while he was walking around, he's like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Then Royler hugs him, and then he looks at me and he goes like this, like, huh?
Wow.
It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, because for him to go there, he was such an underdog, and he had this very strange style of jiu-jitsu that really he formulated. He came up with, it's not like he invented submissions, but he came up with new ways to set things up that were completely unique to him and his system. And that's how he created 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. It's a very well thought out, really effective system, especially if you have leg dexterity. That's me and him. We're hugging.
Holy shit, man.
Look, he's crying on my shoulders.
There are few things better than watching somebody triumph.
It's amazing.
God damn.
It was crazy because you couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe it happened.
When you're broken up. You wanna, man? I'm pretty spent, emotionally, physically.
Oh, that's him talking about it. Yeah, going over it. So that was the birth of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And then he came back. Jean-Jacques Machado gave him his black belt. Jean-Jacques took his black belt off
After this match.
after that match and put it on Eddie.